a very, very tough watch, Voice of Hind Rajab, which is BBFC 15, distressing scenes, strong threat, images of real dead bodies, which doesn't even kind of begin to get to where we are. This is the new movie from Tunisian filmmaker Kauthar Ben Hania, who made Four Daughters, which we reviewed here on this show a little while ago. That was Oscar nominated for Best Doc, although it's a kind of doc-drama hybrid. In February 2024, she encountered, as did many people, a harrowing news story about a very young 5 or 6 Palestinian girl trapped in a car in Gaza in which her family had been attempting to flee the city. The car had come under fire, and she was on the phone to the Palestine Red Crescent Society in Ramallah, begging them to save her. And the recording of her voice was put out on social media. And Ben Hania said that she felt the voice was talking to her and she needed to do something. This is an interview that I read with her in which she said, I contacted the Red Crescent, asked them to let me hear the full audio. It was about 70 minutes long and harrowing. It's a word I'm going to keep using, I'm afraid. I knew I had to make this film. I spoke at length with Hind's mother, with the real people who were on the other end of that call, those who tried to help her. And so what she then did was to make a film in which you have actors playing the people at Red Crescent who take the call, who try to understand what's going on because it's such a young girl, and trying to organize a rescue because there's a vehicle that's 8 minutes away, but arguing heatedly amongst themselves about whether there is anything they can do. Is there time to coordinate a safe route, which involves a number of different organizations talking to each other to coordinate a route in which an ambulance will be able to get there? Can they afford to put any of their rescue teams, which are massively depleted, at risk because so many of them have been killed? Or should they just be trying to publicize the case by getting the case out into the world? Now, we're going to play you a clip. I'm going to just read you a translation of what's said in the clip in advance so you know, okay? And these are actors acting things. So what happens is the first voice says, she's bleeding, she's hurt, do something. And the second voice you hear says, okay, publish that she's hurt and she's bleeding. And then the next voice says, oh, yes, that's a great idea. And don't forget to write in English, she's bleeding. Seriously. Check out social media. Images of children's bodies ripped apart on the side of the road. Seriously. Do you think that the voice of a terrified girl will spark their empathy? She needs an ambulance. Here is the clip.
البنت عم تنزف متصابة اعملوا شيء مشان الله
شغلي بسرعة واكتبوا انها متصابة وبتنزف
فكرة رائعة وتنسيش تكتب لهم بالانجليزي she's bleeding قلب لي سي ايش عن جد تفرج هاي السوشيال ميديا طلع شوف اطفال مشلخة مرمية على جناب الشوارع فكرك عن جد صوت طفل صغيري خايفة راح يأثر فيهم او يفرق على حدا هي بحاجة ambulance.
So what then happens is that, that section of the drama is drama. But what's real is the voice of the little girl on the phone, heartbreakingly, horrifyingly recorded in this appalling situation, in trying to explain what's going on around her in this vehicle, which has been shot at, and it becomes apparent. I mean, as the story is unveiled, the level of the horror that she finds herself in. Now, look, people may well know this story because there was quite a lot of press about it, and there was a lot of kind of controversy about the Israelis saying that they weren't there, and then anyway. So it's not. I mean, everyone knows that this story has a horrible outcome, and occasionally, what happens in hearing the recorded voice is that we start to hear the actual voice of the Red Crescent operators, which are then dovetailed into the performances. So you can see that there's a thing going on between drama and actual documentary recording. The film won several prizes, including the Grand Jury Prize at Venice. It got a 23-minute, 50-second standing ovation, which apparently beat Pan's Labyrinth's 22 minutes, which was the previous record holder. The starry executive producers and supporters include Brad Pitt, Joaquin Phoenix, Rooney Mara, Jonathan Glazer, Alfonso Cuarón, Jemima Khan. It is, of course, by its nature, an extremely uncomfortable watch, since you know that what you're hearing is real. And the director has said of that, I wanted to honor her voice. To me, it would be very bad taste to use a child actor. So the audience can feel more comfortable, like this is fiction. No. And she also sought and got the approval of her mother, which she said was essential to the project. The film was shot cheaply over 3 weeks, small cast, and it is an object lesson in stripped down filmmaking, impactful film craft. It is grueling. It is urgent. It is so upsetting. I mean, so upsetting. And it's one of those cases in which it almost seems fatuous to say it's well made because,
No, sure. Yeah.
you know, so I found it really profoundly distressing. And as I said, you'll know from the title and you'll know from the news stories. And if you want to, you can Google the news story. It's, you know, it's all there. I'm talking as a film critic. I'm going to try and talk as a film critic. I'll just say this. I think the film is very well made. I think that the way in which that it folds those two elements together is risky and profoundly uncomfortable. And I'm glad that I've read interviews with the director addressing that head on and saying, to me, it would be very bad taste to use a child actor so the audience can feel more comfortable. What this is like fiction? No. But it's one of those weird cases as a film reviewer when you kind of think, this is beyond what I can do.
But
Anyway.
it is still a film, and if
it is a film, and if it had
been written as a book, it would have to be reviewed as a book. And when people go to the cinema, they'll be paying their money, and they'll go and see it. So they will see what you see. Will it be difficult to find, do you think?
No, I think it will be available because it has such, high profile support. And so I think it will be playing in cinemas. And as I said, it is important to say that actually the dramatic elements are, I think, very, very well done. And the way in which it folds those dramatic elements with this sound tape is remarkable. I mean, it is that was a risky strategy, and I think it's been done really, really well. And it is a very good example of stripped down, low resourced, make the most from whatever you have filmmaking. I mean, a very fine piece of filmmaking, but an absolutely harrowing experience.